and I will show you how you can use all the materials. Okay, first of all, my name is Heidrun Boll. I'm a primary school teacher with a great passion for teaching science, and I was a coordinator in this project. It was really a pleasure for me to be involved in this project. Together with my colleague Soraya, I would like to show you how you can use this material. If you click on this material on the Science on Stage EU homepage, like here, you will land on this page. Here you can go directly to the different topics, and if you scroll down, you will arrive here and you find a more detailed list with the individual topics. In the next paragraph, you will find different of offers on how and where this material can be used everywhere. Our basic idea was to support you, the teachers, in your lessons, in your science lessons, by offering you simple experiments on a larger range of topics in 5 subtopics. All experiments are always structured in the same way. The experiment videos are always without language, whereas the explanatory video are with language for the teachers or for use by the children. Only everyday materials are used in all the experiments, and these are presented in both in the video and in the documents. As I said, all materials are structured the same, and the first experiment video of each topic is always stopped shortly before the solution so that the children can think and guess for themselves. And the second experiment video then shows the solution to the experiment. In our materials, you also will come across the two friends, Lilo and Alina, in every attempt. They are the connecting element, and a short or longer story will introduce you to the different problems of the topic. Soraya will now show you and explain the most important things about the structure of the material and the extended possibilities of use. Thank you very much in advance, dear Soraya.
Hello everyone, my name is Soraya Cornelius and I'm a teacher and a researcher in chemistry didactics. I was one of the coordinators in this project, but unfortunately I'm not able to be here at this ceremony. That's very sad. But I'm happy to give you some insights in the materials with this video. I will use the same experiment Ruth already presented you. It's about the question, how does global warming leads to a rising sea level? After you have chosen the topic, you will get some important information about the keywords, the subjects, the age group, and the difficulty level. However, you can find more differentiation materials under the heading Differentiated Learning. And they are also linked to the SDGs and the authors, of course. At this point, I want to say thank you to all the authors. They make so a great job in this project. And I also want to thank Johanna and Stephanie and all the other employees that were in the project by working so hard on the materials. Thank you very much for the great collaboration over the project. Heidrun has already briefly introduced you to the structure of the materials, and Ruth has shown you the wonderful experiment video on the question, how does global warming lead to a rising sea level? I would now like to go into more detail about the explanatory video for the experiment. The explanatory video can either be used by the teacher to prepare for a lesson and on the topic, or it can be watched together with the students. In contrast to the experiment video, the explanation video is produced with speech in English. You can also use the explanatory video with no native speakers to promote English language skills across all subjects. Alternatively, you can also download the script as a doc or PDF file and either read it out in front of the class, also in your language. The sound must be, of course, turned off. All videos can also be found in the German materials with German speech and on the Science on Stage.de. To accompany the explanatory video, pupils can be asked questions to encourage them to delve deeper in the content. You can also find them in the materials. And there are also worksheets and H5P elements integrated into the materials, which they can download and even adapt. And a very important aspect for us when developing the materials was that we did not just provide experimental videos and look at them at a phenomenological level. Rather, our aim was to prepare the material in such a way that the teachers can prepare themselves as easy as possible with our materials and without other further researches. On the one hand, this is made possible by the explanatory video, but there's also a lot of more background informations for teachers under the heading Science Behind It. These materials have been reviewed by teachers and didactics experts in several iterations to ensure high quality. In the materials on the topic, how does global warming lead to a rising sea level? For example, you will find an explanation and illustration of the state of matter and the change of state. Did you know that land ice, particularly in Antarctica and Greenland, plays a significant role in the rising sea level? You can find more about this under the question, how does the melting of sea ice or land ice affect the sea level? As you can see, the content and the materials we have created for the project can be wonderfully interlinked and used across subjects. I could go on now forever about these valuable materials and explain so many more aspects and rave about the possible use. But now it's Heidrun's turn to export a report on the added value of the materials from the perspective of a primary school teacher. And you can go on a discovery tour through the diverse materials after the joint celebration. But now, I'm really looking forward to your explanations, Heidrun. Thank you.
Thank you, Soraya. You will recognize very different benefits in these materials. All topics appear in the same layout and have the same structure. As you see, for example, the energy part and here the flora focus. It looks like the same, and if you know how to work with with the topic, for example, the energy topic, you know how to work with the flora focus. You can also make cross-references between individual experiments, for example, between the flora focus and the climate change. And as Soraya just mentioned, you can also use this material in an interdisciplinary way when it comes to collecting and documenting data. For example, we can quickly move to the mathematics or use the explanatory video in language lessons. When debriefing the experiments and their results, it is more or less obvious to incorporate language teaching as we did it in our first brochure by Lilo and Alina. Here, the focus was precisely on this combination, Lilo's house, language skills through experiments. Perhaps some of you are familiar with this publication. This material was also created on an initiative of Science on Stage in an international collaboration a few years ago and has been continuously developed and supplemented. You will find it on the homepage of Science on Stage. You can also use the video for a different approach in your lessons as a flipped classroom. Your students work through the experiments with the help of the videos and then presented the results in the classroom. I'm particularly pleased to be able to inform you that the materials are not only available in English but also in German.